Hey everyone, Charlie again. We have another filing to discuss. This one is out of the Intercontinental Exchange in Europe, and the filing is SR-ICEEU-2021-010. Notice of filing of proposed rule change relating to the clearing rules, clearing procedures, finance procedures, delivery procedures, CDS procedures, membership procedures, complaint resolution procedures, and general contract terms. Now, while that is a lot to go over, I'm just going to break down the most relevant points, and I will leave the filing in the description below. So obviously I did not title this page, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it in for authenticity's sake, because I'm only human, right? So what is ICE Clear Europe? That's what it should say. ICE Clear Europe is one of the world's most diverse and leading clearinghouses. It provides central counterparty clearing and risk management services for interest rate, equity index, agricultural, and energy derivatives, as well as European credit default swaps. ICE Clear Europe is regulated by the Bank of England in the UK and by the SEC and CFTC in the US, so it does have operations here on US homeland. So the purpose of this, as described in the filing itself, we have 11 major points here. Number 1, to update various rules and procedures to reflect current laws and regulations, such as those relating to post-default porting, capital requirements, and anti-money laundering requirements. Number 2, update various defined terms. Number 3, update certain product and clearing member termination rules. Number 4, update certain notice provisions. Number 5, clarify membership criteria and obligations for clearing members. Number 6, clarify how open contract positions are aggregated and netted. Number 7, update certain systems references to reflect current systems and delete obsolete references. So I'm going to stop right there. Obviously, lots to talk about in this one. I have highlighted the most relevant topics. Number 10 is interesting though. Introduce a summary disciplinary process and clarify disciplinary processes. So major changes to discuss. In the filing itself, it's broken down by lettered paragraphs. In paragraph A, we have removal of default portability preference. Now, what that's saying is that in the event of a defaulted member, they were to give notice, pre-notice of where they would like their assets to go in the event of default. Now, what this has done, they've changed this from pre-default porting to post-default porting notices. This would allow the clearinghouse to continue to be able to act efficiently in default scenarios. So this phrase we've seen come up a lot, especially from clearinghouses. In essence, this is a wind down and recovery plan of sorts for this particular clearinghouse. Now in paragraph D, we have amendments to the product termination rules. And it says here that Rule 105 would be amended to shorten the termination period, generally from 4 months to 1 month. So cutting back on a lot of time there, for a service withdrawal for a product in circumstances in which there is no open interest in the relevant set. So surrounded around the options chain. Paragraph L, pledged collateral not for settlement payments. This is being amended to clarify that only original or initial types of margin payments be provided the form of pledged collateral. So in essence, they can't shuffle money around between buddies. It's got to be the form of pledged collateral. So the change is intended to be consistent with amendments previously made to the rule to clarify that such variation in mark-to-market margin are settlement payments rather than collateral. Paragraph M, we have hedging following an event of default. So according to Rule 903C, it would be amended to clarify that the clearinghouse's right to authorize hedging transactions in a default scenario would include transactions on a market, any other exchange, or over the counter. The amendments would also provide that such transactions taking place on an exchange, which is not a market, or where requested or directed otherwise by the clearinghouse, need not themselves be cleared. So this is kind of like what we saw with ICC. It's in essence giving credit collectors a little bit more power and influence in a default scenario, something in language we've seen show up across many of these filings. And it's interesting because noted in this paragraph here, it says that these amendments come out of default event simulations and planning. So according to their simulation, it called for a lot of changes in the rules. So in essence, the summary of all of this, the date for this to be approved or disapproved is within 45 days from when it's first posted into the Fed Register. So this should be 45 days from tomorrow. That is when this is scheduled to publish. So that is when within the time frame we're looking at. Now, the amendments would, as noted above, clarify certain aspects of the clearinghouse's default management procedures, including the use of post-default porting notices and the manner of delivering default notices. The amendments would clarify the ability of the clearinghouse to use hedging post-default and clarify certain aspects of the definition of event of default, particularly in connection with defaults of affiliated clearing members. In essence, wind down and recovery, or you could think of this as risk mitigation. Another factual data that we can look at here to take into account that, yes, even people outside of the U.S. are preparing for something. So they might as well go ahead and event of default, just go ahead and just define it as MOAS. That'd be hilarious. Anyways, I got a couple more to talk about with you guys. I will get those out later on, and hopefully we continue this good day we're having. So y'all take care. Thanks for watching.